The galaxy had a king, and its name was the Apex Empire. For 6,000 years, Emperor Zalor's bloodline had ruled without challenge. From the molten throne world of Varek Prime to the furthest frozen moons of the outer spiral, 112 alien species bent their knees, paid their tribute, and whispered the same truth into the dark: the Apex do not lose. They were tall, 3 meters of gray-blue muscle, 4 arms ending in razor-sharp digits, eyes like twin silver suns that never blinked. Their ships folded space like paper. Their weapons cracked moons. Their soldiers had never known retreat. 10,000 worlds. One empire. No exceptions. Until a small, wet, unremarkable planet sent a single transmission into Apex space. "This is Admiral Darian Voss of the Terran Unified Fleet. You have 48 hours to withdraw your blockade from Kepler Station, or we will remove it ourselves." On the bridge of the Eternal Dominion, flagship of Emperor Zalor's Grand Armada, the translator repeated the message 3 times before the communications officer believed his own instruments. Admiral Kethoran, second in command of the blockade fleet, stared at the readout. 47 Apex warships. 16 support cruisers. For mooncrackers, weapons designed to shatter planetary bodies. Against them, 11 human vessels. 11. Kethoran laughed. It was not a kind sound. He opened a channel back to the human fleet. "Admiral Voss," he said, tasting the strange name like something unpleasant. "I will explain this slowly. The Apex Empire has absorbed 9 civilizations more advanced than yours. We have ended wars that lasted longer than your species has existed. You have 11 ships. We have 47. I suggest you." "I heard you the first time," Voss replied. 46 hours and 52 minutes. The channel closed. Emperor Zalor received the report on his throne. He was ancient by any standard. 800 years of conquest had given him the look of something carved from obsidian, every angle deliberate, every silence a weapon. His 4 advisors stood in their ceremonial arc before him, none daring to speak first. Finally, he said, "Who are these humans?" The imperial historian, Vreel, stepped forward. "A young species, divine ruler. Roughly 3 centuries of interstellar travel. Their biology is unusual. Fragile by external measure. No natural armor. Limited sensory range. Surprisingly short-lived, individually. They average perhaps 80 of their planetary years. Their fleet capacity? As of last census, 400 ships. Combat capable, perhaps 200. And they send 11. Yes, divine ruler." Zalor was quiet for a long moment. "Why?" Vreel hesitated. "We are not entirely certain. The humans have a word for it. Spite, I believe." Darian Voss was not reckless. That was the misunderstanding most people made about her. She was 41 years old, compact and dark-eyed, with the kind of stillness that came not from calm but from absolute focus. She had grown up on Kepler Station, had run its corridors as a child, had watched its docking bays fill with refugees from a dozen worlds that had refused Apex tribute and paid in blood. She remembered a Melkai elder who had wrapped 4 trembling hands around her 8-year-old shoulders and said, in broken standard, "They take because no one teaches them what taking costs." Voss had spent 30 years learning how to be that lesson. "Admiral." Her tactical officer, Lieutenant Commander Priya Osei, approached with a datapad. "Apex fleet is repositioning. They're surrounding us." "Good." Voss didn't look up from the star chart. "That means they're nervous." "With respect, ma'am, they have 47 warships. And they're using all 47 to deal with 11 of ours." Voss finally looked up, and there was something in her eyes that Osei had learned to recognize over 2 years of service, not courage exactly. Something older. Certainty. If they weren't scared, they'd have sent 5. The deadline passed. What happened next would be debated in war colleges across the galaxy for generations. Voss did not attack the blockade. She documented it. Every Apex ship's position. Every frequency. Every patrol pattern. Every resupply vector. Her 11 vessels moved through that blockade like water finding cracks, not fighting, not fleeing, just watching, and for 22 hours, the Apex fleet chased shadows while Kepler Station's civilians continued their evacuation, guided by human navigators who had memorized every blind spot in the Apex formation. Kethoran ordered his ships to engage. For times, human vessels flickered in and out of range, drawing Apex pursuers into overlapping firing solutions, forcing Apex ships to hold fire or risk shooting each other. On the 19th hour, the Resolute, the smallest human ship, took a direct hit from a plasma repeater and went dark. 31 crew members. Voss noted the names. She noted all the names. She always did. On the 22nd hour, the last civilian transport cleared the blockade. Kepler Station was empty. Then Voss opened the channel to Emperor Zalor directly. He accepted the transmission. Later, he would wonder why. Perhaps because no one had ever had the audacity to call him personally during an active engagement. Darien Voss appeared on his viewscreen. She looked tired. There was a cut above her left eye. She did not apologize for either. Emperor Zalor, she said. Kepler Station is evacuated. You've secured an empty platform. The Emperor studied her. You lost a ship. Yes. 31 lives, for a station. 4 people, she corrected. The station is replaceable. Zalor leaned forward. In 600 years of reign, he had negotiated with species who commanded armadas larger than star systems. None of them had looked at him quite like this, not with defiance, which he was used to, but with something quieter. Something that made the defiance beside the point. You knew you couldn't hold the blockade, he said. I never intended to hold it. Then what did you intend? To show every species watching this engagement that 47 Apex warships couldn't stop 11 human ones from doing exactly what they came to do. She paused. We got the civilians out, Emperor. That's the mission. And now every species under your protection just watched us complete it. The silence stretched. You lost 31 people, Zalor said again, and this time it wasn't quite an observation. I know their names, Voss said. Do you know the names of the people your blockade would have starved? Another silence. Longer. You are not afraid of me, the Emperor said. I'm afraid of losing people, Voss replied. I'm afraid of going home and telling families their loved ones aren't coming back. I'm afraid of being the kind of commander who stops counting the cost. She met his unblinking silver eyes through 1,000 light years of transmission. But I'm not afraid of you. And I think that's new for you. It was. The Apex Empire did not fall that day. Empires don't fall in a day. They fall the way stars do, slowly, then all at once, as the light that kept everyone blinded finally goes out. But something shifted. In the months that followed, 7 species under Apex tribute made contact with the Terran Unified Fleet. They didn't ask for soldiers. They asked for advisors. How do you organize a resistance? How do you evacuate a population? How do you make a superior force spend 47 ships chasing 11? Voss took every meeting. Emperor Zalor watched from his obsidian throne as the edges of his empire began to ask questions they had never dared ask before. Not can we win, but why haven't we tried? He sent an envoy to the humans. A formal one, with all the ceremony of state. The envoy carried a message that Zalor had written himself, which was unprecedented. What is it you want? Voss's reply came within the hour. For your empire to remember that every world you rule contains people who have names. Start there. History would record that the Apex Empire never formally surrendered. What it did was stranger, and in some ways more significant. It changed. Slowly. Grudgingly. With considerable backsliding and 3 more military confrontations that the Terran fleet won not through overwhelming force but through a particular human stubbornness that the Apex had no tactical category for. The species of the galaxy had a word for it, eventually. They borrowed it from the humans. Grit. And in the war colleges, the strategy academies, the political archives of 100 species, the Battle of Kepler Station was taught not as a military victory, because by conventional measure, humanity had lost a ship and secured an empty platform, but as the moment a 38-century-old certainty cracked. The Apex do not lose. 11 human ships had not beaten them. They had simply refused to act like they were beaten. The difference, it turned out, was everything. Admiral Darian Voss retired 14 years after Kepler Station. She returned to the rebuilt platform, larger now, a trading hub, full of voices in 40 languages. She walked its corridors the way she had as a child. On the central memorial wall, 31 names. She knew them all. She always did.